Hello there and welcome to today's training. I'm going to give everybody a few more seconds to log in, and while I do, can you please type yes in the chat box if you can hear me. We're using a new system today, so what will happen is we'll receive an email from you at that address, and if a response is required, we'll get back to you on that address. So look into your email box. Very new system, very excited about this. Just going to give the last few people logging on now. We've got people still coming in. Hey Steve, hey Rachel, hey Mike, hey Claire, hey Osvaldo. Lots of new people, fantastic. Well, with that said, I'm going to start and get moving straight away. So, in the next 60 minutes, I'm going to show you how you can create candidate and client leads, how you can remove the need for cold calling and create a big passive income from your candidate database and your LinkedIn network. I'm also going to offer just 5 of you the opportunity to be personally coached by me to show you how to create thousands of extra dollars into your recruitment business each and every month. Now, today I'm really excited about you joining, because I really believe this could be a life-changing session for you. And you'll look back on this session and you'll see how it's changed your view on business, how it's changed your view on what you're doing in your recruitment business. Now, I've actually been through, we've all gone through times, we know where we've been struggling, and we've been looking for a way forward, and that's how this training today has come about. It came about, I was actually at home, and I was struggling because I was working with a new client, and a couple of clients had the same problems, which I'll come to in a minute, and you may be able to relate to these. But I was at home, and I got a knock at the door, and it was my friend Jack, who does something very similar to me, but in a slightly different industry. And he came through, he's like, "Hey Andy, how you doing?" And I was like, wasn't my usual upbeat self. I was a little bit down, I was struggling, and Jack is a very outgoing character, and he comes in, he's like, "Yeah, hey, what's up, man?" And I was like, I'm struggling, Jack, I'm really struggling. Anyway, he went through and he put the kettle on, and he came back through into the lounge, and we started chatting about what's going on in my business. And I sat down and told him what I was trying to do with my clients and the key problems that my clients had. And it was really difficult, because in recruitment, we tend to lag behind other industries by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years in terms of sales processes, in terms of marketing techniques, in terms of ways to bring in leads, the way to use online marketing. We lag behind, and I was really struggling. But Jack was, Jack was really upbeat, because in his industry, which is sales, he was like, "You just need to be doing this." And he took me through a couple of things. That day we sat down at my desk, and then there we go. And he took me through what he was doing with his clients, and it really blew me away in terms of what he was doing. So, I was there, and I was chatting to Jack, and he said, "Come here," and he just took me through what he was doing, and I sat there, and I looked over his shoulder, and I followed what he was doing, and a light bulb went off in terms of what we can do for our clients. The big problem my clients have got, they're always trying to differentiate themselves from other businesses. They don't have enough cash flow at the end of each month. They don't know how to actually create an inbound lead. So they don't even know what an inbound lead is. They're all doing outbound cold calling. The recruiters are getting frustrated. The morale in the office drops, and it becomes one big problem. And I've been called in at this time. I was called into different businesses to actually go in. What we used to do is actually go into your business, we bring a team with us, and we'd actually act as your internal function. So we create leads for you, we create processes so you don't have to make outbound cold calls, we position you as market leaders. And it was such a headache, and it was really getting me down, because it was such a big responsibility, and it was never ending. We'd be working, we'd be out the door at 5, 6 in the morning into the city of London, and then be back at like 9, 10 at night, and then be working it back when we're back home. And it became so much, and it was so painful. But I got so passionate about my clients, and I get really passionate about my clients, and that's where it became a real struggle for me. And there's Jack saying, "Hey Andy, you just need to be doing the following." And what I soon found with Jack is the big problem for all of my clients came down to 2 areas. 1 was cash flow, and 2 was they couldn't differentiate themselves from the competitors. So what Jack made it really clear to me is the biggest problem in recruitment businesses, in most sales businesses, is that they have one stream of income. The biggest problem in business is number 1. If you have just one stream of income, you are dependent on your recruiters being successful every month. You're dependent on certain clients paying on time, and it becomes a problem. And Jack really opened my eyes to this. I've been teaching this stuff all around the world now for a long time. But when I looked at my clients, and when I actually surveyed my clients, and I surveyed my online clients who buy my online programs, and actually my clients who go into their businesses, it was true. Every single one had one stream of income, which is obviously through recruitment. But they didn't understand what they were sitting on. They were sitting on a gold mine. And Jack really opened my eyes to this. But the whole stress that I see inside businesses, inside recruitment businesses, I could now understand what the problem was. And Jack was like, hey, no, if they've got a candidate database, if they've got a LinkedIn network, they should be creating multiple streams of income at no extra cost to them. And I was like, Jack, this sounds really great, but how do we do this? And that's what happened. And I sat there with Jack, and I sat over his shoulder, and he showed me what he did. And I was like, do you know what? This is simple. I can take what Jack showed me, but I can add a lot more to this and make it relevant to the recruitment industry. And that's what I did. I set about changing the recruitment industry. I set about doing things that nobody else in recruitment is doing. I set about doing things that satisfy both of those needs for my clients. And number one, bring immediate cash flow into your business, so you're not dependent just on your clients paying on time. You're not dependent on new starters actually bringing in business. I actually set about creating a new income stream for you. And the second thing was how to actually position you as experts and an authority in your market, but without your consultants having to write boring long blog posts and etc. etc. I set about changing the industry, and that's what we did. So we created a program whereby every time you speak to a candidate, you've got something to sell to them, and something that adds value to them. They're actually going to thank you for actually buying it. So whether you speak to them via email, you speak to them via your LinkedIn network, whether your consultant speaks to them on the phone, but every time you speak to them, you've got something to offer them that they need that will propel their business forward. And I'm going to show you about that in a minute. But let me ask you a question. If every single time you spoke to a candidate, you could sell them something for $197, $97, or every time you send out an email, you could sell something to them, but you're actually not selling to them. It's something they need, they need it to progress their career. It's actually a gap in their arsenal. In the same way that they need to know how to interview, what I'm going to show you is a huge gap in virtually every single candidate's application process, whether it be a passive candidate, whether it be a live candidate. So you can actually create this income for you, but actually push forward your candidate's career. They're going to thank you for it. So let me ask you a question. If you had that in your business, if you could create $97, $197 every time one of your consultants spoke to someone on the phone every day, or every time you sent out an email, you could create thousands and thousands of dollars. Would that be of interest to you? Type in the box and let me know. Thanks, James. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Claire. Thanks, Rona. Well, it's overwhelming, yes, and of course it's going to be. And the thing is, this is so powerful. How would an extra $25,000 a month sound to you? Would that help with your bills? This is what I do with my clients all day long. I bring them on board and we show them how to even monetize a database, how to position themselves as experts, and that's what we're going to go through now. And this isn't just some woo-woo doesn't work. Roy Ripper is a world leader in recruitment training, and Roy had to say this: an immediate influx of cash flow in my recruitment business. I never knew I could create cash on demand like this. You need to get Andy Whitehead in your business before your competitor does. Now I'm going to show you how to do this. By the way, back to basics. Very quickly, who am I? My name's Andy Whitehead. This is what world recruitment trainers and leaders say about me. Mike Walmsley, Mark Stevens from Technology and Recruitment Alliance, and so forth. One of the world's most innovative recruitment business growth specialists, creates an ROI of 10 times the investment we made. $100,000 in 6 weeks by applying one of Andy's step-by-step systems. That's Executives Online. 24% more decision makers in 2 weeks of following Andy's system. So what I'm showing you works. We've got clients around the world. We've got clients, whether it be award winners. We've got 5+ billion, that's with a B, pound corporates. We've got huge media companies. I write for different Ask the Experts, Technology and Recruitment. We've got investment banks. It's huge. So I made a name for myself in the UK, USA and Australia by getting results in LinkedIn, making you the go-to man, showing you how to get candidates come to you and how you can win business. And everything I do is not woo-woo. It frustrates me. There's so much BS out there. Everything I do, I want a direct correlation to the cash in your pocket. Simple as that. We do direct return on investment. We get you more candidates, more clients, more business. Very simple. Our LinkedIn Recruitment Blueprint program, which shows recruitment companies how to really leverage the power of LinkedIn in a true, really innovative fashion, is now being distributed to over 5,000 recruiters. We've gone through the training, responsible for millions and millions of dollars worth of new business candidates. Our Recruiters of Edge podcast goes out to 100,000 recruiters every week. I've got a new book coming out, which I'm going to talk to you a bit more at the end, which is an entire driver for what we're talking about now. But so I want to come back to what Jim showed me and get into really nuts and bolts about how you can do this now. Now, Jim showed me in his inbox what was coming in. So his client had these coming in. He had these emails coming in from candidates. He had these emails coming in from clients, thanking them for what they'd done. Now, Jim had a formula. It was very, very simple. And when we broke it down and he worked with me that day, he just made it really, really simple. I was making things too complex. So all you need to do is this. You need to create candidates as fans, dominate candidate engagement. Candidates get hundreds of emails every day. Emails, phone calls. They get inundated with it, with the same old dross. You need to do something different, which I'm going to show you now. Something you can actually give away for free, possibly, and how you can get paid for it now. So basically, you create candidates as raving fans of you and your brand, and you get paid for it. So it takes away the stress of cash flow. You create immediate cash flow. Now, what that is going to equate to either long term is this. As you've got the best candidates seeing you as a brand leader, you will by proxy attract the best clients. Your brand will grow. You'll get immediate cash flow. Now I'm going to show you how when you apply this, it'll bring traffic to your website, all sorts. But this whole thing came about when I sat down with Jim that day. I was speaking at TechRec, which is the largest recruitment conference in the UK, and I spoke there in the summer. And I say just a week before, we were discussing what we should be doing. And I spoke on stage for 45 minutes, and the response was wonderful. But afterwards, I literally had a queue of recruitment directors asking me to go into their business and do what I'd shown them we'd done for previous businesses on stage. I literally had a queue. I was like a rock star. I had at one point about 10, 12 people around me just baying for to speak to me. And all I wanted to do was grab a beer because I just finished talking. But essentially, this is what it came down to, and this is what we worked on that week before. To put together a process whereby you can increase candidate engagement and create raving fans, how you can get immediate cash flow, and also, because you're now the leader in your niche, how you can increase your fees long term because you've got the best candidates. And thirdly, how you can automate the process. So it's all done for you. And that's what I put together, and that's what Jim and I did, and it's really been powerful since then. The key thing is differentiation is what is going to get you to become the leader in your niche. Differentiation. If any of you have been on any of my other trainings, that's the key thing. You need to be the leader in your niche. You need to do things differently. Now, people tell me, well, we spend money on SEO, we spend money on a new website. The bottom line is SEO sucks. If you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars to spend, as Google makes a new change each month and you can go and spend another 20,000 changing it, wonderful. Put your money that way. There is a lot more strategic things to do. Everything we do is direct response, which means if you put an A into our system, you add B, we know C is going to come out. SEO is an unknown quantity. Google are making changes left, right and centre. They've just removed the ability to see how your keywords are doing. The free tool they used to have, it's just been removed. If you're going to rely on SEO to drive your business, good luck. I'm not. I'm going to rely on base facts. I want to know if I put A in the system, add B, I'm going to get C out. I'm in control of my process. You should be too. The second thing we discussed, well, Jim he taught me this from his sales background. Cold calling sucks. It sucks. Hand on heart, do you enjoy cold calling? Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Claire. Yes, you don't enjoy cold calling, and more importantly, do your consultants enjoy cold calling? I can bet you they leave work, they go home, and they bitch about what's happening about cold calling. It makes the morale drop. Some of them turn to drugs, they turn to alcohol to get more up for it. But cold calling is tough, and it destroys morale. In this time of social, if you're still just doing cold calling, you are way behind the times. But in recruitment, this is still the done thing because we are backward. But in other industries, no. And that's what I'm going to show you. You need to be doing things smart now, and being the same sucks. If you're doing the same things as all your competitors, well, you can expect to get the same results. Do not do the same things. You need to be doing things different. And that's when Jim sat down and showed me through his clients and what they were doing. It's like, Jesus Christ, everything we're doing is different. And that's the key thing. We need to be doing things differently. Now, the good news is your hard work is done. Your hard work is done. I want you to think about the next 2 minutes and answer these questions. If you've got the following in place, then this is going to be the most powerful webinar you're watching in a long time. What Jim showed me was this. You can create raving fans. You need the offering we're going to come to, but if you've got the following in place, then you are good to go. Have you got a candidate database? Yes or no? Have you got an email system? Do you use social networks? We'll come to that in a minute. But do you use the likes of Bullhorn? Have you got Broadbean? If you've got any of those, a candidate database, an email system, and or any other recruiting software, wonderful, you're good to go. Now let me ask you another question. Do you use any of these social networks to speak to your candidates, to attain candidates, to find clients, to speak to clients? LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. If you speak with just any of those, one of those, you're good to go. Thanks, Mark. Thanks, Laurie. Thanks, Claire. Of course, we all do nowadays, but we're not leveraging them. We're doing things backward. Now, you can hear the passion in my voice because this is something that I've seen. This comes back to when I was stressed and I got a knock on the door that day because I genuinely care about my clients. I take their pain home with me. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. There's so much dross out there that's teaching you backward strategies, which is just going to make your life more painful. Now, your company is making thousands of phone calls each month. Cold calling kills. It hurts our morale. And this is what it's really, we've got to start to think long term. And Jim asked me a question that changed me forever, and it changed the way I will look at every business I work with forever, and it should change the way you look at your business forever. This is the question. What is the lifetime value of your candidate? What is the lifetime value of your candidate? So you've got one candidate. If you place them 4 times in 20 years, let's say their placement fee is $25,000. You place them 4 times in 20 years. So let's say they're in a role for 5 years, leave 5 years, leave 5 years, etc. That's $100,000 of fees in 20 years. Now, when you start to look at your business that way, you need to be making your fans, your candidates, raving fans. It is key. It is key. And you don't do that as a one-off. Most of you will probably have a poor relationship with your database now. I'm going to show you how to immediately get your candidates to find you and see you as an authority, as a leader, and how you can start to create that process and get them to become immediate raving fans. This is key to your business. This is key to the long-term survival of your business. Cannot stress this enough. So look at those figures again. 25,000 placement times by 4. It could be $10,000 placement. You place them 4 times. That one candidate is now worth 4 times the value to you if you treat them well. You make them a raving fan. So this is what Jim told me. You create raving fans and you find a way to guarantee cash flow now. And those fans will then sustain your long-term growth, your long-term survival, and the success of your business. It's very simple. We make it too complex. Very, very simple. So when I sat there and I looked over Jim's shoulder, I was stressed. I was so stressed. I didn't know how to do this. I was in a bad place. I was feeling the pain of my clients. The end of month cash flow. Some of them couldn't pay my fees. They've got all this revenue coming into the business, but it's all going out because they have one revenue stream. They have one revenue stream. So the fees are coming in. They need to pay for their consultants. They couldn't cover their monthly bills, their own personal monthly bills and mortgages. So how would an extra $10,000 a month sound to you? Just an extra $5,000 a month sound to you? In reality, if you've got a social network, if you've got a candidate database, if you speak to candidates every day, there is no reason why you shouldn't be adding $25,000 to your passive income every month. There's no excuse whatsoever once you implement what I'm showing you. And if you've got consultants working for you, every time they're on the phone, wow, you could be creating a huge amount of passive income, but also positioning you as experts in creating raving fans. Now, this is what Jim took me through. He took me through, and we termed it very grandiose, cash flow blueprint steps, the candidate cash flow blueprint steps. Any of you know my trainings, I love the word blueprint. So a blueprint is something you follow step by step. But it's all about candidate cash flow. So this is what Jim took me through. To create cash flow in your business immediately, you need to find out what drives your candidates. So what turns your candidates on? So you survey your candidates to find out what is a big need in their life. What do they need in their life? So let's say, for example, that your candidates, they need interview skills. In fact, let's change it. Your candidates need to have a good LinkedIn profile. Would you agree? I'm going to come to that a bit more in the future. But thank you, everybody. They need a great LinkedIn profile. It's essential to your candidates get in place nowadays. Whether your candidates are either passive or they're live, a passive candidate still needs to have a great profile because he'll be being reviewed by internal staff when doing business with them, or in fact when he's doing an external interaction with other organisations. So both passive candidates and live candidates need a great LinkedIn profile. So let's say you've got that. So what you do is you survey your candidates to find out what they need. So what you do is you survey your candidates and you find out what they need. Let's say, for example, they need LinkedIn. You don't find providers of LinkedIn training. You contact the owners of that. You agree terms. You then create the actual products, or you create a candidate offer, so something you can sell. So in this case, say a LinkedIn training you can sell to the candidate. You then package it up, which could be you've got to create the training, you've got to then create a workbook, you've got to then create the whole process. You then create an offer to the candidates. So there's quite a lot of work there, but I'm going to give you a shortcut in a minute. But what Jim did in the sales industry, he did something very similar, but what he had was an offer around how to close sales. So what Jim did, he had a program which went out to the database of his clients, and it showed them how to close sales. And these are results he got. How to close a client. His client database was just 4,236. So he had a client who had a database, 4,236 salespeople. 8% bought the training. 8%. So that isn't huge. 338 people bought a training, a low price training, $147. That's $48,000, 815 into the business. Just by saying to these salespeople, hey, it's really, really key that you have the latest sales training. We've got a great offer for you. We've partnered up with this company. We've got this wonderful training for you. It's normally $300. It's yours for $147. And that amount of people bought it. In this case, he had to give away half in commissions. But if you got your own training, which I'm going to show you, you could take all of that commission yourself. But the key thing is here, the salespeople thought the company, Jim's client, was wonderful because they've actually bought them. They thought a discount. It's valued at 300. They've sold it for 147. So they bought all this goodwill, but also Jim's clients created an income. So they've become raving fans and they've created an income. Wonderful. Now, as I said, when I sat down with Jim that day and I got that knock at the door, I was not in a great place. I was struggling. And on behalf of my clients. I didn't know how to bring cash flow into the business for them. I didn't know how to combine that. I know I could give you 1,000 strategies on how to become the number one in your industry sector. We've taken businesses to be leaders in their sector in all sorts of sectors. We can get you new candidates, we can get you new clients, we'll show you how to do it. We can do that all day long, but combining that with creating an immediate cash flow was tough. So let me ask you some questions. Would you agree with the following? Yes, your candidates are either on LinkedIn or they should be on LinkedIn. Please type yes in the box. Your candidates' profiles are poor at best. Your candidates' profiles do not match the content of the CV. Getting loads of yeses in. Thanks Steve, thanks Michael, thanks Claire, thanks Oswaldo, thanks Sheila, thanks Jeff, thanks Hayley. Yeah, absolutely. Now what's even more key, Microsoft has given us a clue. They're giving us a clue in recruitment. They did a survey and they said that the LinkedIn profile of your candidate is used at least 3 times in the process. So if you're losing candidates and you don't know why, the client doesn't come back to you, there's a very high chance, according to Microsoft, the reason why is they've looked at the CV, they then looked at the LinkedIn profile. The LinkedIn profile is the proverbial rubbish, and they've then thrown them out the process. Clients are looking for reasons to not hire people, not looking for reasons to hire. So your candidates are making it more difficult for themselves to get hired and making your job harder to sell to them if they've got a poor LinkedIn profile. So I started thinking about this. Imagine if you had your own, first of all, you want to differentiate your brand from your competitors. This is key. You know the key to candidate engagement is to add value to your candidates, to give them something, not just give them boring newsletters. We're not in the 80s. We know the one thing that all your candidates have got in common. They need a great LinkedIn profile. So imagine this. You had your very own LinkedIn training for candidates which walked them step by step on how to improve their profile. Imagine it was a digital product, unlike Jim's, which was a hard product, but a digital product consisting of training videos, workbooks and audio files so they can download or view the training on your website. So you take the training and you host it on your website, or you host it on your YouTube page. Very simple. Do that in a couple of minutes. But then every time they look at the training, who are they coming to? Your website or your YouTube channel. Very powerful. They see your brand every day. Imagine you could also brand the training with your company name and your logo. So it's ABC Recruiting Candidate LinkedIn Blueprint. So whether you're an agency or whether you're a brand, an internal recruitment person on behalf of a big brand, if you can give away this training or sell this training and brand it, you're getting brand exposure. We've got this training for you. I first created a training like this years ago, and it's sold around the world. In the US, it's through Time Out magazine, through a third party. I've just actually gone through a process. I said I wanted to change the industry and give you immediate cash flow. So I've created the candidate cash flow system. So what it is, it has this. It's got LinkedIn training for your candidates. So basically your candidates have got 2 45-minute webinars that shows them how to make their profile a professional profile, how to make it more sellable, how to make your job easier to sell them. It shows them how to write their headline, how to write their summary, how to write their job descriptions, how to ask for recommendations, how to do it in a structured fashion. It's got 2 45-minute audio MP3s so they can listen to it on the go. And because you can brand this yourself, you can brand it with your own logo. Every time they see the webinar, every time they hear the MP3s, they're going to think about your brand. The workbook can be branded. Now this is cool. You've also got full resale rights for all materials. So you can sell this at $47, $97, $197, whatever you wish. You've got white label resale rights. You can do with it what you want. You can rebrand it to sell underneath your brand. Now remember, we are the company who's taken 5,000 recruiters through LinkedIn training. We are world leaders at LinkedIn. This is going to make your life easier because your candidate's going to thank you for such awesome training. When we sold this training in America, it sold for $197. I'm about to blow you away. Now Jim took me through something very powerful, and I've done this with clients. His problem solution model. When we sat there on that day, Jim knocked on the door. Hey Andy, how you doing? And I was flat. And I was flat because I was in a tough place. I was worried for my clients. I knew one of them was on the verge of bankruptcy. I knew that he'd gone through divorce, was going through divorce. And money is a tough, it's a killer. People change when we haven't got money. People change when we haven't got cash flow. But just an extra $1,000 a week, cash in your pocket, it's going to give you a bit more of a strut in your pocket. $1,000 cash in your hand. In reality, we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. If you can be created by applying what I'm showing you. But I felt the pain that day, and I know how people can change when they haven't got money. So we sat down, we discussed what are the problems for the recruiters. What are the problems for for these guys, for my clients. And this is what we got. The first problem is they struggle to pay monthly bills. So what we did, we came up with this solution. So we've got a training package which now, as I say, it's 2 45-minute webinars, 2 45-minute audio MP3s, a workbook. So it's a package that your candidates can have. They can actually watch these training webinars, listen to these audios. It's a package that they can start using straight away. So if you had this package and you could sell it under your recruitment brand, we started to come up with a set of solutions. So the first problem was my recruitment clients, they often struggle to pay monthly bills. If they sell this training, they can get immediate cash flow and every month thereafter. Immediate cash flow. Second problem, they've got no relationships with the candidates. Well, they can refresh their candidate list in LinkedIn network by offering it for free. You give away this training which costs, you can say it sells $197. You give away for free. You've bought it for them. Straight away, they're going to think you are awesome. Most candidates feel like, and this is their word, a piece of meat. That's how recruiters treat them. You're going to be so different from your competition when you apply this. Number 3, they can't get referrals. They find it really tough to gather referrals. Candidates ask for referrals. You ask candidates for referrals. They ain't got the time. They're busy. They're humans. What about if you give this away for them for free? This will change your career if you apply this training. I'm going to give it to you for free. It costs $197 in return for 3 referrals from company, from BMW in the system test department. Very powerful. Get 3 referrals. Could be worth tens of thousands of dollars to you. Problem. Do not know what motivates my clients, my candidates. Tell them. If they complete this survey, so you go to surveymonkey.com or Simple Survey, find out what their big driver is for moving, what their favourite company is, what the current salary is, where do they want to live in the country, are they open to moving in the next 6 months, would they work in Canada, would they work in Germany, etc. You write the questions. In return for the questions, they get this training, which is valued at $200. So you can start to get this information from your candidates. It's very powerful. Another problem for my clients, we don't have time to build relationships. We're in sales mode every day. We get into the office and we're firefighting. It's true. That's what recruitment's like. We have the great laid out plans. We get in the office, boom, all hell breaks loose. You can automate your candidate engagement process with this. You can automate the candidate engagement process with this. Another problem. I'll just very quickly on this. What do I mean by that? When someone comes to your website, they submit their CV, you can send them a number of emails. You can automate that process. You can give them this training away for free as that process. And I've got a training, a 1 hour, 35-minute webinar, which is valued at $500, and I'll give away for free in a minute, which shows you how to do this. We need to freshen up our candidate database, where you add a link on your website enticing the candidate to submit his CV and get a copy of his training, which is sold for $197. So you need to freshen up your database. You need more candidates. Very simple. Give me your CV and I will give you this $197 training for free. It will progress your career forward. Very simple. But we're doing things hard. Nowadays, there's so much noise on the internet, people need a reason. Problem. My recruiters hate cold calling. It paralyzes my recruiters and causes bad moods in the office. No more cold calling. They've now got a reason to call. You look at your candidate, you look at a prospective candidate's profile on LinkedIn, you see it's poor, which 99.9% of them are. You contact your candidate, you say, hey, it's Steve from ABC Recruiting. Just tell you had a look at your LinkedIn profile. I'd like to help you fix it. We've got a training which is sold around the world. I'd like to give it to you for free. Any questions, come back to me. So you're not selling to them. But then their barrier drops. They don't think you're going to sell to them and become just another piece of meat. Then you start engaging with them, you build rapport. You're on a completely different footing from saying, hey, I've got this job. Nobody cares. They're inundated with that. Stop it. It doesn't work. It kills people's morale. 1 in 42 people get through to a decision maker. Killer. Make your life easier. Make your recruiter's life enjoyable. You're going to get better results. Senior candidates do not reply to my emails. Do not reply to my emails. Do not reply to my calls. Well, you contact the senior candidate and say, hey, Steve, you're on our database. Just thought I'd let you know that your LinkedIn profile is probably a reason why you haven't got paid the $80,000 you wish for, because you don't look like you've got that position at the moment. I'd like to give you a training for free or sell it to you for $97. It retails $197. I'm certain this will then position you as a leader. Actually, one of the case studies on the webinar had been out of work for a year, and this is true. It's on the training webinar. She'd been out of worked for a year with a child. The most she'd been paid before was $70,000. With our positioning technique, she got offered an interview for a role with $105,000 just by applying one positioning technique. So I think it's training to be really, really good for you. I'll send it over to you. Give me a call with any questions. Now, do you think your senior candidate will respond to that? I think he will. Bad atmosphere in the office due to rejections. People, no matter how thick-skinned people are, people hate being rejected. You know, us men, when we were younger, we used to hate getting rejected by girls. And girls, we're exactly the same. We hate getting rejection. It's a base human psychological need that we are loved and we have connection. We hate rejection. You may have those in the office who give it all the, I'm really outgoing, I'm really, really happy, and I really don't care. And there are wonderful recruiters like that. But deep down, it starts to pull away. Make their life easier. Make your life easier. Problem, SEO not working. We don't get candidates coming back to our website. Very simple. You host a training on your website. Traffic and candidates visit your website. Repeat traffic to your website from senior candidates. They will come back to your website every time they see the training. When they come back to the website, you're going to post jobs next to the training. You're going to have links next to the training. Very simple. Very simple. I'll show you how to do this on the training I've done for you recruiters. Problem, we're not doing anything different from our recruiters. This will create word of mouth branding with your candidates as they discuss what they're doing. You're doing something so different. So different. No one else is doing this. Problem, our brand does not get out to our candidates. You white label the training and you brand it as your own, and you just send out emails. Every time someone comes to your website, you sell it or you give it away. You contact your entire database, you contact all of your LinkedIn networks. I reckon that most people on this webinar today have got, from what I've seen, for those of you who've registered, I know some of you by name, you've got in your LinkedIn network and on your candidate database a reach of over 10,000 candidates. You've got that. Give them this training, sell the training, your brand is out there. Emails not getting opened. LinkedIn themselves has 50% improvement in open rates when you give them something of value. If they're on LinkedIn, what can be of more value than giving them something which is going to improve their LinkedIn performance? They're going to open an email from you on LinkedIn. You're going to say to them, your profile could do with improving. They're going to go and look at their profile and say, do you know what, he's probably right. And then they click on the link to your training. You're going to create raving fans. You're going to create raving fans. And that's what I want for you. I want you to be different. I want you to stand out from the crowd. You want to be creating raving fans from your candidates and dominate your niche. Now, there are 3 critical success factors to creating unique, sustainable candidate engagement. You need to identify your candidate need, and then essentially you sell to that candidate. But when you sell to them, I don't mean you always sell them something of cost. You give something of value, and that's the mindset you must have. So type in the box, what common needs do all of your candidates have? What's the need of all your candidates? LinkedIn, I've done a survey with this already, and I surveyed over 10,000 recruiters, and LinkedIn came back as the number 1, and that's why we've created this for you, and we're almost there now. But just back to basics, you can do it yourself or we can do it for you. But these are the steps you go through. You identify a need for your candidates. So what sector are your candidates in? Is there one need that would benefit A, well, number 1, all of your candidates, 2, benefit their career, 3, help you place them, 4, promote candidate engagement, and 5, get you paid. Our LinkedIn training does that, but you can come up with your own one if you wish. Step 2, you create a real-world communication plan with your candidates, leveraging your time, resources, and finance. So how many candidates are in your database? I reckon there's between 2,000 and, from those on the call, 2,000 to 100,000 for those of you I know in your database. How many are on LinkedIn social sites? You've all got thousands. Do you have an email system? You all should have an email system. If you don't, we go through this on the training about which ones we recommend. Are your LinkedIn contacts tagged into groups of 50? If they're not, we show you how to do this on the training, which means you can email 50 candidates at one time on LinkedIn. It saves you a lot of time. And this is a key thing. Do you see the importance of regular non-job communication? You don't send job. You need to send 50% engagement, 25% sales, and 25% content. Sorry, 50% content, 25% engagement, 25% sales. But most people just send job, and it just peeves off your candidates. They get desensitized to you. But when you start applying what we're giving you here, you're going to create raving fans. Then number 3, you create short-term cash flow for long-term engagement strategies with new candidates. It differentiates you and your brand, and it positions you personally and your brand as leaders. So let me ask you a question. What do you do in the first 24 hours for new candidates when they submit their CV or details? What do you do? Type in the box. Nothing. You phone them. Great. Phone them. Thanks, Bob. Well, you can automate this process. You can email them straight away. You can send them an email the next day, a day after that, or as often as you like, and give away this training or charge for this training. What do you do to incentivize existing candidates for referrals? Thanks, Margaret. Well, looking by the comments, we don't do a great deal. Listen, guys, doing it on the phone, doing everything by the phone is going to sap your time. It's going to sap your recruiter's time. You need to be given an incentive. You can email them, but when they're on the phone, give them an incentive that is going to be of value to them. What can you do which will be tangibly something which will set you apart from your competitors? Is there a way you can offer this and automate it in your business? Yes, there is, and that's what we're going to show you. So these are the problems you've got. You've got no differentiation from your competitors. You've got poor cash flow. Not be able to pay monthly costs. No placements. You're losing the best candidates to competitors. You're unable to attract and source the best candidates. You've got no systems in place for you and your team to follow. You've got no easy to follow plan. Not enough SEO website traffic. Social failure to peers. These are key things. But these are the solutions I'm now giving you. You've got immediate differentiation from your competitors. You've got a cash flow tool, which can be sold as much as you like for as often as you like. It'll pay monthly costs. You can attract and source the best candidates. You've got systems in place for you and your team to add value every time you speak with a candidate. You've got an easy to follow plan. You've got increased traffic to your website and autopilot. You've got social positioning for you, your brand and your consultants. Now look at these figures. If you sold this training for $47 and you had a 2% conversion, that's $9,400. You've got 10,000 in your database. If you sold for $97, that's $19,400. Now, if you've got a 5% conversion, so 5% means 5% of your database buy, or 5% or 2% of your database buy. That's what conversion is. And just looking at the figures here, we've erred with one of our stats. But if you look at over here on the left-hand side, 2% conversion rate, so 200 buy at $47. It's 9,400 if you've got a database 10,000. At $97, 19,400, and you can see how the figures go up. If your database goes up, if you put the price up, etc., etc. So if you've got a LinkedIn network, if you've got a candidate database, if you've got contacts, if you've got an ATS, you can do this. Now the thing is, we don't just do this. I've got a background. We've created, a process whereby we brought on 1,246 new candidates. And you may have seen me speak at the Big Biller Summit and describe what we do. I've created hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of new business in a couple of months for clients just following our strategies. We've got a book on lead generation coming out. We create automated systems to communicate with candidates. We remove the need for cold calling. We create inbound leads. We've got our clients becoming authorities and celebrities in their market. We do this, but now we've got this white label product for you to sell. When preparing this presentation, I had two options. Option one, I can show you the keys to what we're doing, candidate engagement and passive income and part ways, or I can extend a special offer to those of you who need to grow your brand, reduce your need for cold calling and create a passive income. I chose option two. So what we got is this. Let's say you've already seen an insight into the candidate LinkedIn power training. You've got two 45-minute webinars. You've got two 45-minute audio MP3s, one workbook, 4 resale rights for all materials. Now what you also get as the recruiter, I show you how to do this. I give you it's actually a 135-minute training webinar, valued at $500. I'll show you how to host a training, how to promote the training, and so forth. So from a candidate perspective, you get 2 45-minute webinars for your candidates, you get 2 45-minute audios for MP3s for your candidates to use, you get a workbook, you get full resale rights, you can sell it, you got rebranding rights, you can position yourself as a brand leader, and it gives your consultants a reason to not cold call. Now, you as a recruiter, I'm not going to go through this in huge detail, but I'll give you a training that shows you how to do all this. It's very simple. How to host a training, how to use the candidate training as a means to gain referrals, how to use the candidate training as a way to attain CVs, how to use candidate training as a way to cut the need for cold calling, how to use candidate training as a way to grow your LinkedIn groups and talent community. It goes on. How to use the candidate training as a means to grow your brand, etc, etc. How to sell the training, how to start taking payments in the next 60 minutes. Very important. Start taking payments in the next 60 minutes. And this is the mind map I take you through. So there's a lot of detail on here. You know, when I've taught this before, it's $500 for this training course. Absolutely will give you what you need. So we go through my objectives for you, about your relationship with your candidates. We give you an audit, your objectives, your strategic mindset, how to physically set up your website, YouTube, sales page, etc. How to take payments if you need to do any of that. How to implement email, what goes in your email message, what goes in your LinkedIn message, on the phone. It goes on the actual message detail. And then we go through the implementation steps. Now we've got 3 options for you. This training, you've got the RMI branded. So what this is, the LinkedIn training is branded with my company brand, or you can have it so you can brand it yourself with your own LinkedIn brand, with your own company brand, which we recommend you do. Or Diamond, we will actually do it for you, but we don't recommend you do this. We recommend Platinum, your company brand and logo. So with Gold, it's branded in our own logo, but you'll log in, you'll download the product straight away, and you can send out to your candidates immediately under our branding. Create immediate engagement and goodwill with candidates. But this is what I recommend you do. You get the completely white label version, so you can brand it as your own training. You can log in and download the products now, send it out to your candidates straight away, and you brand it with your own logos. Now, the candidate Cashflow system, what will happen is you'll be sent a log. As soon as you log in, your PayPal processes, you'll be sent a login details, and you'll log in and you'll be in there within 30 seconds. So you'll be into the members area within 30 seconds, and you'll receive 2 45-minute webinars for the candidates, 2 45-minute MP3s, a workbook, and so forth. And for the next 30 minutes, or for the first 5, whichever comes first as a fast movers bonus, we're going to offer the following. All of what we've discussed there, so you get full resale rights, you get white label resale rights, rebranding rights, you get the 135-minute training webinar, how to host training. You can make so much money from doing this, and that's what we want you to be doing. So for the next 30 minutes, this would be valued if we sold this at a crazy price. But for the next 30 minutes, for the first 5 movers, you go to Candidate Cashflow /webinar. That's Candidate Cashflow /webinar. You'll go to that page, you'll get the following options. Gold, which is usually at $497, but just for 5 people, it's $97. So you have 1 payment, or 3 payments, $37. Now Platinum is usually $997, but just for this webinar only, and I'm going to tell you why we're doing this in a minute, $197 just for 5 people. Just for 5 people. Or 3 payments of $77. And Diamond, fully branded for you, so we do it for you, it's usually $1,997. We're going to do this for 1 payment of $997 or 3 payments of $397. So if you go to candidatecashflow.com /webinar, you'll see its offers. If you go just to candidatecashflow.com, you'll see the normal price. But if you go to /webinar, so just for this webinar now, you're going to get that price. What will happen is you'll be sent the login details straight away. So the process is through PayPal. You'll go to PayPal and they are going to automatically send you the login details. So everything's done via PayPal. It's done for you. So what will happen is you'll get the details. They come into your inbox. It might be in the junk folder. They might be in spam, but they're sent to you. Any problems, contact us. But they will be sent to you via PayPal. Now, if you did nothing else apart from speak to people on the phone, so you start straight away, and every candidate you speak to, let's say you sold 10 copies for $47, or each person sold 10 copies in your office per week, $47, extra $500 a week, or $470. Let's say you sold for $97, and each person in your office brought in 10 per week. That's an extra $970 a week. Let's say that your company did $100, 100 copies a week at 47. That's $4,700 just by on the phone. So when you speak to candidates, you tell them about that. You look at their profile, you tell them the profile needs some work. You sell it for $47. That's an extra $5,000 a week. Sell it at $97. That's extra $10,000 a week. Your candidates need this. They actually need this in their business. They need this to progress their career. If they're in a role already, it's imperative that their LinkedIn profile looks professional, because when other organizations look at them, or when people in their business look at them, it's key they're positioned correctly. So they need this. Now, if you apply online strategies as well, the figures can go through the roof. You've seen these figures already. And we give you a training inside the members area for this, which shows you how to do this. It's a one-time offer, a financial return on investment you will probably never ever see again. Never see again. So how many sales can you make in the next 90 days? Literally a numbers game. It's literally a numbers game. It's up to you. How many calls do you want to make per week? And you just need to look at your candidate's LinkedIn profile and tell them. If they haven't got a LinkedIn profile, you tell them. It's a win-win. The reason why I'm doing this at such a ridiculous low price is my book is about to come out on Amazon, and I want 5 of you to apply this straight away, and I want you to give me an awesome testimonial. That's only if you think it is awesome, but I know you are going to. So, there's no risk on you. It's zero risk on you. It's my personal guarantee. For any reason you're unhappy with the trainings, the course, the content, I have no questions asked refund. No questions asked. It's a small industry, recruitment, and I am hugely focused on you getting value. So it's completely no risk to you. So just for the next 30 minutes, 5 of you will get that at the crazy price. This will not be sold again. This will not be sold again. You will have an improved candidate profile, making your candidates easier to sell to clients. If you want to have a branding tool which will cost you thousands, you've got it. You've got your own hands-on training at your own disposal to promote, sell and earn as your own. You have a reason to call candidates and discuss a LinkedIn profile. Very powerful. Your consultants are going to love you. You have a strategy to drive repeated daily traffic for candidates to come to your website. You have a referral incentive tool. You have $10,000 of training which is yours to do with as you wish. Your ready-made marketing and income business in a box. You have a key differentiator to rise above the noise in your market. This program will change your business. It will, starting today. If you're not making money from your database, I guarantee you'll be making thousands from your candidate databases within days if you apply what I've shown you. You just need to pick up the phone. Hey, I looked at your LinkedIn profile. We can improve it. Simple as that. If your consultants are frustrated with a lack of candidate engagement, I guarantee this will overcome it. If your consultants are frustrated with cold calling, I guarantee this will overcome it. If you're stressed and worried that your brand is not out there enough, I guarantee you will after this training video. Greg Savage, leading guy in recruitment. And I should be meeting Greg when he comes over. Many companies and many recruiters will fail to evolve and will die out very fast, very soon. Recruitment still has a great future, but only for the innovative and nimble. I only work with savvy recruitment businesses. I don't work with dinosaurs. As Mark Stevens says in Smart Recruit, I can honestly say that there are few people operating anywhere in the UK with the ability to deliver marketing, business growth services in the way that Andy does. He understands the landscape and applies his extensive knowledge to great effect, delivering tangible results that pay for his services many times over. Roy Ripper. I've closely followed the upward trajectory of Andy Whitehead over the last 2 years. We started working with him just 2 months ago, where my aim was to reduce my spend by 12% and also increase the bang for my marketing buck. I was knocked off my chair when Andy's advice and clear-cut strategies resulted in a net reduction of 17% in the first 2 weeks. And helped us reach a whopping 38% more targeted decision makers. That's way beyond our expectations in terms of cost savings and the speed in which we accomplished our goal. What we appreciated most about working with Andy and his team was that there was ability to cut through the normal marketing fluffy BS and deliver real tangible results immediately. Get Andy Whitehead into your recruitment company before your competitors do. Key thing is there, we don't do fluffy BS. We get you results. We deliver tangible results. Mike Walmsley, another world leader in recruitment. Andy's knowledge of recruitment is second to none. I've been privy to the world's best recruitment trainers, and Andy's strategies astound me personally. Anyway, enough of that. What Mike's saying here, results such as adding €100,000 to a business, one of my clients in 6 weeks, is an example of the clear results you'll get when applying Andy's strategies. Andy's all about results. As I say, no risk on you. It's my personal guarantee. CandidateCashflow.com/webinar. All the risk is on me. And due to the fact we don't want to saturate the market, there will only be 5 spots available for each of those offerings. Once they're gone, that's it, it's too late. The price will probably not raise, it might not even be available. So just to recap, $97, crazy price. That's not, we've spent thousands and thousands putting this together. $197, sell it. If you sold just one package at $197, you've made your money back. Crazy. And $997 will do it for you. This will be sold out. Again, those figures, $9,400. $19,400, $97,000 if you're going to convert highly. Now very quickly, I'm going to take Q&A from you. So we've got a lot of questions coming in throughout this webinar, and my admin, thanks Louise, has been helping. So I'm just going to screen through some of the questions and try and pull out the main themes. I'm going to do just 3 minutes, so I want to be below the hour as I promised. Okay, so Mark. Right, Mark's asking, will the training be available in the members area? How do we get the training in the members area? If I've understood you, Mark. Basically, Mark, you go through PayPal. PayPal will send you login details straight away. So you'll have your own personal login, your own username, your own password. You'll log in. The documents, the videos, they're all there already. They're there to go, and you simply click on download them to your hard drive, and you've got them all straight away. Or you can log in there. You've got lifetime access to this, Mark, so they're there forever. Yes, Mark, they're available 24/7. So you can log in 24/7. And Steve, why am I doing this at such a low price if it's so effective? Steve, great question. I actually have a $5,000 coaching program. A $5,000 coaching program. The way we do business, and I'll be completely open door with this, the way I do business, we get new clients into our business at a low end level. So they come in and they pay either $97 up to $997 for one of our programs. So we've got many training programs out there. When you see what we do for the value you get, when you start making $10,000 out of spending $197 with me, do you think you're going to want to join my $5,000 coaching? Yes, you will. Because if you spend that money with me and you've got that much value from working with me, from just spending a few $100s with me, and you've created tens of thousands of dollars for me. If you spend $5,000 with me, what do you think I can do for your business? So that's why we do this. Lots of you on the webinar have never met me before. If you go to my websites, recruitmentmarketinginternational.com or andywhiteheadexe.com, or check me out on LinkedIn, you'll see the recommendations and the people who endorse my programs and what we do. But human behavior is based on proving and getting results. So we get people into my business at a lower end level. We prove that we are awesome. We get you results, and then you are going to want to apply for my coaching. And we turn down over 50% of people who apply for our coaching. We have an application process. You don't just buy into my programs. You have to apply to join my coaching program. I want to know I can help you grow your business by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times the amount of money you've invested. So if you join my $5,000 coaching program, I want to know that I can actually add at least 100 times that to your business. So hopefully that's answered your question, Stephen, to why we're doing it at such a low end. And the reason why we're doing this now is because we want to get 15 people in straight away. We want you using the program, and I want you saying, and then you're going to want to join my coaching program. And we've got 5 spots open available. So 15 people come in, probably 10 to 12 will apply. And then of that, we'll accept, or maybe accept none. It depends. Sometimes we accept over 50%. Sometimes we accept less than 50%. And that's why we do this at that price. Hopefully I answered that. We've run out of time. Just final question I'll take. What's your proven LinkedIn knowledge? You mentioned the LinkedIn recruiter training. Yes, if you go to, I need to ask Louise for that. linkedrecruitmentblueprint.com/webinar, you'll see one of our trainings there. So we do that. We've had over 5,000 recruiters go through that training. We've got over, I think, got around 400 or 500 global companies currently using our strategies on a daily basis. That means they access, because they've got a members area like you will have when you purchase, and they log in and they then use our strategies on a daily basis. And they got teams from one person up to 100 plus recruiters in their teams. So we've got thousands and thousands of recruiters globally using our LinkedIn training. So with that said, I just want to finish on this. The key thing in your business is you're either growing or you're dying at any point in your business. You're either going to be creating another income stream in your business or someone else is. You're either going to be creating more candidate engagement or someone else is. Do not fall into the "I'll wait until" syndrome. It never happens. CandidateCashflow.com/webinar. That crazy price. In fact, what I'll do in a moment is just go to it. There we go there. If you scroll down the page, you'll come down to payment buttons. There, simply click on add to cart. And there we go. And you pay with LinkedIn. If you've got a PayPal account, you choose PayPal account. If you haven't got a PayPal account, you can pay with a debit or credit card. One note, try not to use e-check because the process takes 7 to 10 days, and then your automated message, your automated membership, we need to manually do it for you. So I recommend you use PayPal or you pay with your debit or credit card, and then you'll receive your login details within literally probably about 30 seconds. So it's CandidateCashflow/webinar. So with that said, everybody, it's been absolutely fabulous. Hopefully you've taken a lot from this call today. And you know, the big turning point for me was that day with Jim. Now I'm hoping and I know that you've got a lot from this, and big turning point for you now is to start monetizing your database. Go out there, brand yourself, become the leader in your niche, and let's do this now. Let's do this now. And I understand I've been an hour on the dot. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for your time. You can find me at recruitmentmarketinginternational.com or andywhiteheadexc.com for my blog. Or of course you can find me on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn is /recruitmentmarketing1. But LinkedIn is probably the best place to find me, or at recruitmentmarketinginternational.com. Once again, candidatecashflow.com/webinar. You will not have this opportunity again. I really recommend that you start making this happen. Choose the platinum version. It's a fifth of the price. You won't see this option again. With that said, take care, take action, and I wish you the very, very best of luck. Let's make this year the year that things really, 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 really go up a notch. With that said, take care, goodbye, out. Andy Whitehead.